Shweta, are we waiting for someone?
No, Kiran. I'll begin.
You think you want to wait for another 5 minutes or so? Are there
Uh,
more people going to join in?
yeah, there were some people who registered, but I just see that there are so many Shweta Nadiks, so I don't know who is who.
Doesn't
Uh,
matter, we can wait.
okay, maybe for another 2 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
How come there are so many Shweta?
That is what even I'm wondering. Maybe because of the registration, I don't know if that name has automatically been taken. All those who are not Shweta Nadik, please change it to your original names, please. It's very difficult. Otherwise, there are 6 Shwetas other than me on this call.
Ask them to rename themselves, Shweta.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh, can we have a quick introduction from everybody, please?
Yeah, sure. That can be done, I think. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this webinar on understanding anxiety. I would like all of you to quickly tell out your names so we know who are on the call and if we have to wait for anybody else, because there are multiple Shweta Nadigs also. Um, can you all please introduce?
Hello,
Can you
I'm
stop
Sandhya
sharing
Manjunath.
the screen?
Hello, this is Nadig here.
Shweta, are there too many instruments of yours on?
I don't know why there's so much echo.
Yeah, because probably on your end there might be instruments which are on.
No, I haven't logged in the system. Okay, maybe I'll switch off my. Is this okay? No,
It
it's
is
still
still
echoing.
echoing.
I don't know.
Can
Please
you
give me.
leave and just join from one of your devices?
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. I'm sorry, everyone. Please.
In the meantime, can I have introduction from all of you, please? Starting with Sandhya.
Hello, I'm Sandhya Manjunath, Shweta's mother here.
Oh, wow. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Great to have you here.
Yeah.
Vidya Pradeep. Is there anybody who has two instruments on? Have you joined from two devices? Because there is a lot of echo going on here. Shweta, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear now. Is it better?
It's absolutely fine. I think somebody has joined from two devices because of which
Yeah, I
the
guess
echo
so.
is there.
Okay. Now I think we'll start. It's 7:05.
Yeah, there are still a few more Shwetas here.
Yeah. Can all of you who are not Shweta Nadik please rename yourselves? There are still about 4 or 5 of them. Maybe when you registered, it automatically took my name because you were registering for this webinar. Yeah, looks like it is because of that. I see some names changing right now.
You'll see 3 dots there when you click to your image, and you can change the name from there, please. Do you have the name of the people who have registered, Shweta?
No, I didn't get any email
Oh.
for registration. But it's okay. I think we'll just continue. I mean, through the webinar, let me check if they will change their names. Okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining today for this webinar. And before we begin, let me introduce myself for those who don't know me. I am Shweta Nadig, NLP practitioner and hypnotic psychotherapist. I am based in Bangalore, and I run my own practice. I name myself as Innerverse. Sorry, I call my practice as Innerverse Journeys. I mainly focus on adults between the ages of 20 to 60. I help them with anxiety, stress, anger management, emotional regulation, and trauma, healing them from trauma, and strengthening parent-child relationships. Today, I want to extend my thank you to Wellness Whispers, who allowed me to host this webinar on their platform. Thank you so much, Kiran ma'am, and all of you on Wellness Whispers who gave me this opportunity.
We welcomed you.
Thank you so much. Let me begin. So I will be sharing my screen. I hope all of you can see it. Is it visible already?
We can see it, Shweta.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, just a moment. Okay. So let's dive into understanding anxiety. This is a very common issue that a lot of people are having right now. So it's important to understand what exactly it is, what it is not, how not to confuse it with other issues as well. So when I named this Finding Calm Within Chaos, I did that because a mind that is anxious has a lot of things going on within. It's just so chaotic inside a person's mind and their body. So finding calm within this chaos is very important, which is why I named it Finding Calm Within Chaos. Now, before we begin, I want to introduce a story to you. I want to put forth the story. This is Anita. She is a married woman with 2 children. She has a job. She has to run a house every day because her husband is away. He works abroad. So she single-handedly has to raise her kids and run the household. And every night she tells herself that today when I sleep, I will finally get some good rest. But unfortunately, she is never able to. She sleeps early sometimes. She even takes naps in between. But she wakes up tired. She always feels that her body is recharged to only up to 10%. She feels exhausted and tired, even with everything that she's trying to do. Can you all mute yourselves, please? The rest of them. Thank you. So Anita's mind doesn't race, as in she's not, having rapid thoughts, but it also doesn't switch off. There's something running on her mind, but it's not as fast. So there's constantly something maybe that she needs to attend to. It could be her kids, their homework, maybe doing household chores like laundry, cooking. I'm sorry, I'll have to just pause here. Could I please request all of you to mute yourselves? Or maybe you can mute everyone. Yeah, thank you. So there's always something Anita has to attend to. She has to attend to her kids, her work, the household chores, and everything. So she feels really overwhelmed and, taxed because of this. Some days she moves fast, she's okay, she's able to manage. And there are some days when she slows down so much that, day-to-day things like making decisions or doing tasks also feel very heavy for her. So she often wonders, what is wrong with me? Anita is really concerned why she is behaving the way she is. Now, at this moment, I will want to ask all of you, what do you think Anita is experiencing? Is it stress, anxiety, burnout, or overthinking? I will give all of you a moment to ponder over this story and just type in your answers on the chat box. I'm not able to see the chat. Okay, yeah, got it. Stress, anxiety, all of the above. Stress and burnout. Most of them are saying stress. Some have told anxiety, burnout. Because of those two, she's been getting into anxiety. Great. Awesome. So I will have to break the bubble, break the ice here, burst the bubble. So it is not anxiety that Anita is experiencing. It is actually burnout, emotional overload, and constant responsibility. There is no anxiety that she's experiencing, which we will get back to after we understand what anxiety is. So now moving on. We are going to be covering these topics today. What anxiety is actually, what it is actually, how it works in the brain and body, the different types of anxiety, the signs and symptoms, its root causes, what are the triggers which make anxiety work worse, and how it shows up in daily life, the brain-body connection, psychosomatic symptoms. I will explain to you what psychosomatic is when we get there. There is an example story for helping all of you understand the differences between various similar issues, so as to not get confused about anxiety and the others which seem similar. Then I will be giving out about 3 techniques for quick relief of anxiety when one experiences it, and then when it is important to seek help. We will be discussing all this through the sessions today. Please feel free to type your questions in the chat box. Towards the end, I will attend to it and answer them as much as I can. Thank you so much. Now moving on. Okay, let's begin first by understanding what anxiety actually is. Anxiety is not thinking too much, or it is not about worrying. It is a whole survival, a body survival response. So when the brain senses danger, it could be real or imagined. It activates the alarm system called the amygdala. That is the anxiety system reacting. That is the anxiety showing up and our body system reacting. So it is not fear, not drama, it is a survival response. And the moment this happens, the logical part of the brain temporarily shuts down. So, there is no rational thinking going on, there is no logic. So there are some times when it's not going to happen, but still your body reacts to it. These are all because your amygdala has already alerted your brain that there is a threat. At this point, there is a release of adrenaline, and your heart rate will increase, the breath will change, it'll become deeper, it'll become shallow also sometimes because you need to breathe fast. Your brain is needs more oxygen to function. So all these are issues that happen when anxiety kicks in. So if you can see, this small green dot over here on to the right side of this arrow is the amygdala. It is that small. But when your body is having a thought, before your logic brain processes it, the amygdala rings an alarm, a threat, a possible threat to your brain, And so it starts behaving how it would in a fight-flight response, where it needs to protect you. It starts sending extra signals into your body. All your nervous system gets activated, your logic brain switches off, your heart rate increases. All this happens. This is a small example. If there is, I don't know, sorry, this may not be visible. So there is, if when the sensory organs catch their inputs, maybe the ear is listening to something, the eye is catching something. So in this, the thalamus, which is the one that needs to process, it starts sending signals, alert signals to the amygdala. So before the logic brain starts processing, the amygdala will take charge. So there's rapid thoughts in the brain. Your entire nervous system gets hijacked as well. Now going to the different types of anxiety. Today we will be talking only about the generalized anxiety disorder, but these are the many types. I will just quickly run you through what each one is. GAD, or the generalized anxiety disorder, is an ongoing excessive worry about daily life. Panic disorder is repeated panic attacks and fear of future attacks. There is social anxiety disorder, which is fear of being judged or embarrassed in social situations. There are specific phobias, which are intense fear of particular objects and situations. These will be completely irrational. It is not a regular fear, because a regular fear is more real. But a phobia is very irrational. There is no logic behind it, but still your body signals threat. And then there is agoraphobia, which is a fear of places where escape feels difficult. Now, this and claustrophobia seem similar, but they are very different. In claustrophobia, a person just has a fear of a tight, small space. They don't feel comfortable. They have symptoms of anxiety and panic in such situations. But in agoraphobia, however big the place is, when you feel you cannot escape or support to access is very limited, they have fear as well. That is agoraphobia. Then there is separation anxiety, which is distress when you have to move away from loved ones. This is not only in children, but this is also in adults. Then there is selective mutism. This is mostly in children, but also we see in some adults as well. So in this, they have the ability to speak, but unable to speak up in certain situations because of anxiety. So they become completely mute. They do not express, they do not say anything. Although if probably the trigger is not there, they will be able to talk and speak normally. Then there are different types of anxiety because of medical condition. If there is an underlying cause of some neurological disorder, I'm sorry, or anything else, that could also trigger anxiety in certain people. And then there is substance medication-induced anxiety disorder, which is triggered by substances, chemical substances, and other alcoholic addictions as well. When a person withdraws from this, they do experience anxiety. So these are the different types of anxiety. Today we will be talking general anxiety. So there are many signs and symptoms because anxiety affects your thoughts, your emotions, your body, your behavior, everything. So when I talk about signs and symptoms, there are 4 different types, because you may feel physical stuff, you may physical discomfort, you may feel emotional burden, and cognitive decline. All of this we will go through one by one. So the first cognitive symptoms of anxiety will be confusion. There is a lot of confusion in your brain. There are memory problems where you can't recollect. There's decreased problem solving because it affects even the logical brain. There's distorted reality or paranoia. There are negative thoughts. There's problem with attention, and rumination about the past is just recollection of the past, some issues that have happened. Worrying something bad might happen. This is again a form of negative thought process. These are the cognitive symptoms what anxiety causes. Next, there are emotional and mental symptoms. There is constant worry or fear, feeling restless or on the edge. There's difficulty concentrating, irritability, sleep problems such as insomnia, because your mind is not able to shut down. It is continuously working, so it affects your sleep as well, and a sense of doom or panic. This goes into a complete freeze response in your nervous system. There are physical symptoms like rapid heartbeat or palpitations, shortness of breath, dizziness or lightheadedness, sweating or trembling, stomach discomfort or nausea, because the gut gets very affected as well, muscle tension or aches. There are behavioral issues as well, like overthinking, procrastination, irritability, avoidance. You avoid doing things that make increase anxiety, or you totally avoid doing anything because you just want to be. And perfectionism, all these are also behaviors that are realized through anxiety. Restlessness, decision making difficulty, physical symptoms like constant headaches, migraine, stomach ache, and all that, and sleep issues. So these are the many signs and symptoms. But what I would like to also add here is, if you have any of these, it does not mean you have anxiety only. There could be physiological issues. So you need to address all aspects, not decide for yourself, this is what it is, just because you have one of these symptoms. There could be a whole lot of other reasons linking to this as well. But these could be anxiety, signs of anxiety as well. Now we're going to the root causes of anxiety. There are many causes. Let's first go into the biological and body-based. Some people are just born with more sensitive nervous system. It is in their genes. It is their nervous system reacting very sensitively. Their internal alarm rings faster than the others. The amygdala, which is the fear center of the brain, it becomes easily activated and sends danger signals even when the situation may actually be safe. And what happens next is the prefrontal cortex, which is the logical thinking brain. It temporarily steps back, it shuts down, which is why you may know you're safe, but you will still feel anxious. There can also be neurochemical influences, which affect how easily stress gets triggered. And the body itself can remain in a chronic state of hyperarousal, which is fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response, especially because in case if it is activated from many years, if this has been a pattern, your brain learns and behaves. So biologically, anxiety often begins as a body first protective reaction. It is not a character flaw. It is in the DNA. Now going to psychological factors. That is the next layer, which involves our thought patterns and beliefs. The stories the mind tells us to keep us safe. This is what is thought. It is processing everything. It's creating a reality for you. So, it tells us stories about how something happened before, so it might happen again. For many people, anxiety is shaped by patterns like assuming the worst case scenarios, overthinking small details, or taking responsibility for things that are outside their control. These aren't chosen on purpose, they are learned over time. These are all conditioning. Our body and brain get conditioned to believe something wrong is going to happen. There is a core belief that triggers anxiety. And we also, carry certain beliefs that I must not make mistakes. I want to keep everybody happy. Or if I don't do it right, then somebody will not be happy. I cannot settle with just okay. I need to be doing the best, and things like that. So these beliefs comes from early experiences, but it continue to influence how we interpret situations today and tomorrow. And then there's the fear of conditioning, where a past experience creates a template for the future. This is how our body and brain conditions. So psychologically, anxiety comes from the patterns that once protected us, but now keep us in the state of alert. Then there are developmental and environmental factors which affect anxiety, which cause anxiety. This is the most influential set of factors, I would say, very significant, but sometimes ignored. This comes from our childhood environments and the experiences that shaped our sense of safety. This attachment and safety patterns are formed from when a child is born, or sometimes even from when they're in the womb. The attachment patterns start developing. And during their growing years, depending on how children feel a sense of safety, it starts linking this like a chain every time a pattern is repeating. So it starts believing this is what happens. A child who grows up around criticism, unpredictability, or emotional distance learns that the world is not consistent, and the nervous system adapts to this by staying alert all the time. These are early survival strategies, but later appear as adult anxiety. In that situation, as a child, not knowing how to cope, they are even children do show signs of anxiety, but they are just a little different to adults. So, but the body and the mind remembers every single incident. Then there are these life stresses and social pressure, where it could be work pressure, relationships, financial strain, overstimulation, lack of rest, all of these that keep the alarm system active. So anxiety often is a combination of early conditioning and modern stress. It is not personal weakness, but it is all these things complicating for a person. There could be fear of judgment, people pleasing. That is another pattern that people develop. Overthinking, expecting the worst, or difficulty relaxing. Even in safe environment, the body reacts based on what it learned a long time ago. This is the development and environmental causes. Now moving on to what makes anxiety worse. Now, I will not say that if you do this, you will develop anxiety, but if you are anxious, if you have the tendency, or if there is a situation when you are feeling anxious, then these are the things which will increase the anxiety. So multitasking, because already your brain is functioning non-stop, so many thoughts, so many things that it's managing, multitasking will only add to the anxiety. Sleep issues. It is very well known that without sleep, the body cannot function. All the cell rebuilding, all the body healing and rebuilding happens in our sleep. So if you do not get a good night's sleep, the next day, your day is going to dip, and you're going to be very prone to having anxious thoughts. Caffeine is another trigger. So when you're anxious, if you think a cup of coffee is going to help, I would say no, it does not. It will only trigger it and worsen your situation further. People pleasing is another um, uh, another thing that people do, but it makes anxiety even worse, because you are only trying to judge yourself and tell, am I doing enough? Will that person be happy? So you are trying to think of something that is not real to you. It is not in your mind. You are trying to gauge another person's thinking and doing everything possible to please them. So that also increases anxiety. Not drawing boundaries when this is very, very important, because when you are already dealing with a lot of things, if you don't draw boundaries, people will overstep. They will take the liberty to add on to what you're already taking, and this is going to make it worse for you. And then emotional suppression, because the more we hold in, at some point it has to come out. So building up all the penting up all the emotions, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is, that will also make anxiety worse. And of late, in the current generation, any kind of phone or screen stimulation is causing very, very bad effects on the brain, which unfortunately is unavoidable, but keeping it within limits is really, really important. I saw that for this particular slide, there was a lot of reactions. I'm glad most of you know, or at least are becoming aware of what would, make things worse. So please do not do these when you feel anxious. Moving on. How anxiety shows up in our everyday life. It could be overthinking. You're just trying to do everything in your capability to get things ready. A person is over planning so that they don't feel left behind. They're like, I want to do this, I want to have plan A, plan B, and everything. You're doing so many things just to ensure everything goes well. There is irritation because your mind is just so restless. You cannot relax. There is so much thought process going on, and so you're avoiding certain tasks because you are getting exhausted and constantly seeking reassurance. Is it going to be okay? Is this enough? Are you sure? Then you check with a lot of people around you. Do you think this is sufficient? Will I be able to manage with this? So all these things which are shown up as anxiety in day-to-day life. It's also important to understand brain-body connection. It's very, very important because everything happens in the brain, and there is a sign that it sends to our body when it's handling too much, and being sensitive to these signals is very important. That is what psychosomatic means. Psycho is mind and soma is body. So the mind body link reveals how stress manifests in physical symptoms impacting overall health and well-being. So when we talk about somatic links, we're talking about the direct relationship between our mind and body, because stress that doesn't stay in our thoughts, it travels down to our nervous system and shows up physically. So the brain sends signals to the body based on how threatened or overwhelmed it feels. So emotional stress can turn into physical reactions, like we will look into in the next slide: muscle tension, headaches, discomfort in the stomach, sleep issues, racing heart, etc. So this doesn't mean that the symptoms are just in your head. It is actually very, very real, because the body is responding to the brain's perception of stress. So when we understand this brain-body connection, we can see that physical symptoms are not random. They are the body's way of communicating that something in our emotional world needs attention. Please remember, your body will talk to you. It will communicate. Just be sensitive, just be aware, and accept those, and then address those issues as well. Do not ignore any symptoms, because when we support the mind, the body will naturally begin to settle. So these are some of the psychosomatic symptoms, which are the physical manifestations of anxiety. There could be headaches. Anxiety can lead to tension headaches due to muscle tightness and stress. These headaches often feel like a band tightening around the head, causing discomfort and distraction. So there are different types of headaches, each indicating a different issue in your body. Mostly anxiety headaches come around your forehead, because there are migraine headaches, there is stress, then there are so many other things. So usually anxiety headaches are around your forehead. Then there is muscle tension. Chronic anxiety frequently results in muscle tension, particularly in the neck, shoulders, and back. This tension can lead to pain and reduced mobility, impacting daily activities. It is definitely not easy to function when your body and mind are not cooperating. And especially when your body begins to feel it, it is a cycle. It goes back to the mind telling you cannot do it, and what is wrong with me? Why suddenly am I feeling this pain? What do I have any other deeper issue? Everything goes into a spiral then. Then there are digestive issues. Stress and anxiety can trigger digestive issues like nausea, bloating, irritable bowel syndrome. These symptoms are often linked to the body's stress response, affecting our gut health. Our gut is a very good indicator of our body's health, of our mind health. Now that there is some idea about what anxiety is, what it can do, the connection between the mind and body, I want to narrate a small story here because there are certain things which confuse all of us. So we are going to look at the story where we are going to differentiate between stress, tension, and anxiety. These look similar, feel similar, and we think they are similar, but how one can lead to another, we are going to look at in this story. This is a story about Chirag. He works at a company where he's known for being dependable. One morning, his manager says, Chirag, you'll be presenting our team's progress in the meeting that is day after tomorrow. Now, this is a normal day for all of us. I think a lot of us can relate to such situations, maybe not just exact, but you will see as we progress how from stress a person can go into tension and how it will result in anxiety. So this is when Chirag will feel the stress. At first, Chirag feels a normal, healthy level of stress because sometimes stress is okay. It is like a motivation, but there is a limit. So he thinks, okay, I need to prepare this. Let me get the numbers right. This is a situational reaction. He is having a deadline. He has to prepare for it. So he is working towards it. There is an external demand that is a presentation, and his body gives him the focus and energy to meet it because you need that drive to ensure you perform well. So here the stress is natural. It is task focused. It is short term. Chirag feels alert and motivated. So this is stress. The body is saying you have something important to do. Prioritize this. So stress is response to the task here. Next, this is when stress becomes tension. Later that evening, Chirag sits down to rehearse. He hasn't eaten well. He's been working all day and he's reading his slides repeatedly. He's preparing left, right, center for the meeting. His body begins to now speak. His shoulders tighten, his jaw clenches, his chest feels heavy, his breathing becomes shallow. And at this point, he's no longer responding to the task. He's responding to how the pressure of the task feels inside his body. This is tension. This is the body holding the weight of stress. Tension shows up when stress sticks around too long or builds up without a break. So tension is body carrying stress. Now coming to when tension becomes anxiety. Later that night, while lying in bed, the thoughts begin because he has not got rest, he is not eating well, he's not sleeping well, he's constantly overworking. Now he starts thinking, what if I forget what to say? What if they judge me? What if I mess up? What if I look incompetent? So his heart starts racing, his body temperature starts building, his stomach tightens, his mind jumps straight to worst case scenario. He's trying to do everything in his ability to pass this phase. Now the presentation is no longer just a task. It feels like a threat. And this is anxiety because your mind is foreseeing a probable threat. Anxiety isn't about the meeting tomorrow. It is about imagined danger, future fear, and the brain's alarm system reacting as if something terrible is about to happen. So this is what the amygdala's threat response is. So when these thoughts come to a person's mind, anxiety response gets triggered. It is imagined danger. So it's all in our mind, maybe from the past, maybe just doubts about the future, but it is very real to a person undergoing anxiety. So now we learned the key difference between stress, tension, and anxiety. Stress is about the situation. Tension is in the body. It is about physical symptom. Anxiety is in the mind's fear. Now coming back to Anita's story, where she's a married woman with 2 kids, how she's getting overwhelmed, not able to rest. So what she was experiencing was burnout, emotional overload, and constant responsibility. She did not have anxiety because there was no fear-based thoughts here. She did not think, what if something goes wrong? She did not dread anything. Her mind was busy, but it was not scared. And she was exhausted. Her brain was not hyper alert trying to scan for any threat or danger. She was just very exhausted, and her body was slowing down because of exhaustion. It was not speeding up, because usually when people are anxious, they are doing a whole lot of things and keeping up their speed. And then she had mental fog. It was not mental noise. So when there is a lot of thoughts in your head, it results in a lot of noise. Mental noise is what they call. Aditi did not have those, and she only was overwhelmed with responsibility. That was not threat. So her struggle actually came from caretaking, chores, emotional labor, no downtime. So this is burnout. It is not anxiety. And I'm sure at this point, a lot of us can relate to this, how we are constantly in this world trying to manage a whole lot of things. And, our mental health is taking a backseat. It is important for us to understand how to cope up with this, because we are not otherwise going to be healthy. Our body, we have to take care of our brain, our body, in order to be healthy and happy. So today I'm going to give about 3 techniques, which is not a resolution for the anxiety issue that one might have. It is just a temporary relief, a quick relief for that moment, so that you can manage that particular situation. But please do see a professional if this continues, because it is a body warning to you. So one of the techniques that we will be looking at today is called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. You can all make note of this, because it comes in really handy. In this technique, you have to note down in your mind. Just close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths, and you can just note down 5 things that you can see around you. Make note of 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. Because by doing this, you are bringing yourself to the present moment. You are using your sensory organs to establish and soak in the present environment that you're in. So it allows your mind not to go into the future, think about the future, or make imagine any kind of a possibility of the future. Just being present in the moment is very, very good as a quick anxiety relief. This helps anchor your awareness in the present by engaging your senses and calming anxiety. So once you bring your your awareness to yourself at this moment, that itself will help you to be mindful and calm anxiety. This is one technique. The other technique is called the stop technique. This is also very, very good Again, this interrupts anxious thoughts and feelings. It helps manage anxiety by encouraging you to pause, breathe, observe, and proceed mindfully. So in stop technique, you stop, you notice when you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed, just stop and think for a moment what it is that is happening. Take a deep breath, inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Repeat this several times. This will bring down your heart rate. It will calm your nerves. Breathing in through your nose deeply and exhaling through your mouth really helps your body reset. It's a very quick fix, but very effective. And then you observe, notice what is happening in your body and mind. Acknowledge the feelings and thoughts that you are experiencing. It's important not to push away. It's important not to ignore what you're feeling. Just acknowledge them. Tell yourself that you are here. It is just your thought. You will be able to really feel your body is calming down at this point, and then proceed. Choose how you would like to proceed, focusing on activities or thoughts that make you calm and happy. Immediately after this technique, you do something that really brings happiness to you, because that way again your thought is shifted. It will not uh, uh, you know it will not come back to a spiral again. Then there is another technique. This is called box breathing. It's called a physiological sigh, because this is completely a very deep inhalation and exhalation. So in step 1, you breathe in for 4 seconds, count 4 seconds, take a deep breath through your nose. And in step 2, you hold for 4 seconds. So holding, meaning after you inhale, don't do anything, just hold in that breath and then breathe out for 4 seconds. And then again hold it for 4 seconds and repeat. Do this a couple of times until you feel that your anxiety is settling down. This is a very good technique to slow down your heart rate, and your breathing also really becomes deep and more relaxed. This is called box breathing. Four counts of inhalation, 4 counts of holding it, 4 counts of exhalation through the mouth. It is important that you breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And then again, you hold for 4 counts and repeat this process. So these are the techniques that really help with anxiety. Now, there are some evidence-based approaches. This is if you are really struggling. There are many people, professionals, they're out there to help you in many different ways. So when you feel anxious, those quick 3 techniques are just quick fixes, but you need to address this because there could be a deeper underlying issue. So there are mind-based approaches like CBT, ACT, which is acceptance and commitment therapy. Then there is mindfulness-based approaches. Then there are psychodynamic and emotion focused therapies. They work by teaching these mind-based approaches. They work by teaching people to notice anxious thoughts without getting pulled into them. So they shift unhelpful thinking patterns. They become more present and understand deeper emotional triggers. These mind-based therapies help change the internal dialogue in your mind, which actually fuels anxiety, which actually causes anxiety. Then there are body-based approaches, which work with the nervous system directly, because anxiety is not just in the mind, it is very deeply physical as well. So these techniques regulate heart rate, breath, muscle tension, and the responses due to threat that our mind perceives. So because when the body settles, the mind naturally becomes clearer and less reactive. Then there are trauma and experience focus approaches. This addresses the past issues, past experiences, because of which our brain has learned patterns and created emotional ties to memories. These include exposure therapy, EMDR, and then there is interpersonal therapy. All these approaches really help in healing past trauma. And many childhood experiences, the fear conditioning that all of us would have gone through since childhood, and relational stress that comes because of it, they help retain how the brain interprets threat and reduce the emotional charge attached to the old experiences. This is very important because these are very deep, and when you handle the root cause, when you heal the root, the you will feel a difference in your entire life. So it is very important to address these as well. And of course, there is medical support when it is needed, when all these when anxiety really goes up a particular level. These therapies along with medication might be required in order to calm the nervous system, in order to calm our thoughts and everything. So there are so many therapies available, so much of professional help that is available. So when we look at anxiety treatment, we're not focusing just on one thing. It is all these together. The most effective approaches combine mind work, body work, and experience work. These will help people feel safe, think clearly, and respond very differently to stress. So it is very important to address these as well. And when it is important to seek help is when anxiety interferes with daily life. If it is really crippling you, if it is not allowing you to function normally, you have to really go out and ask for help. Physical symptoms which feel very overwhelming, very unmanageable, and if constantly you're thinking, what if something happens, what about that, what if this, what if that, if this is a constant pattern that your mind is going through, then it is important to address this. If you've started avoiding doing tasks, people, or taking up responsibilities, this could also be because of anxiety. If there is a change in your sleep, your appetite, or your energy, it could also be because of an underlying anxiety issue. If you're having panic attacks or sudden fear responses where your body goes into a complete freeze mode, it is important to see a doctor or a professional immediately. And if you feel your anxiety is lasting weeks or months, here and there, one day, a couple of days is okay. But if it's lasting longer, and if it is interfering with every routine of yours, then you have to go out there. And if you feel stuck despite self-help, there are many times when we read books, we watch videos, we are trying to figure out ways that we can help ourselves. If despite all this, you are not able to overcome, then you do need help. And if overall quality of life is reduced, it is important that you get back on track, because after all, we all have just one life. Let's give the best to ourselves. We are our own support. We have to care for us as much as we all care for others. Self-help, self-love, self-care is as important as we do for our family, to our loved ones, to other people. Please do prioritize yourselves. Thank you very much for being with me here today. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. If any of you have posted any questions on the chat box, let me see. Okay, there is nothing. Anybody has any doubts with regard to what we spoke today? What anxiety actually is and how to deal with it? Thank you, Smita.
Shweta, can I?
Yes, please. Go ahead, Jyoti.
You have explained everything so very well, Shweta. Thank you very much. That was a very, very detailed explanation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Between stress, tension, and anxiety. Actually, I mean, utilize the word sometimes, I feel.
Yeah.
Even I would have done that.
We all confuse that.
We all confuse the words and use it interchangeably. Like with the Anita story, I think I would have said all the three, all the four, I think. Stress, tension, burnout, and this anxiety.
Yes.
But by the end of the things, PPT, I think I could realize that there is such a marked difference. You have explained it all very beautifully. Thank you very much, Shweta.
Thanks, Jyoti. Thank you. I just thought, storytelling, is longer lasting in our minds, so we can relate to it better and remember it better. So I hope with that we realize what we are going through, and take it on from there.
And storytelling is always much more interesting. Also,
Thank
no?
you, Shweta. This was very good.
Thanks, Kiran. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you,
Very
everyone
well.
who have
Well said, Shweta.
shown their thoughts and their expressed their gratitude for this as well. Thank you very much. I know it was a little deep, but it is important. In 1 hour, this is the maximum. I wanted to give out so people really realize, because it's very common these days. All of us are going through it in some form or the other. In fact, if I will take this liberty, this is my first webinar, so even I was having anxiousness this morning, and I used one of those techniques that I stated, and I also came up here in front of you all. So we all go through it, just that for some of us it's very, very difficult to deal with, and so we need to take that help. It is not at all wrong. As much as we go to a doctor for any physical illness, mental illness is as important, or sometimes much more, because our bodily issues could be caused due to our mental issues. So although both work hand in hand, sometimes the physiological symptoms may not settle, then for sure that there is a mental issue that has to be dealt with. So please do not ignore yourselves. At any point, if you want to connect to a professional, please go ahead, take that first step. You will realize, you will thank yourself for making that decision. So please embrace yourself. On a closing note, I do have to say that one second. Okay. I do have to say that we need to embrace understanding over conflict in our minds. All of us go through so much of conflict within ourselves, this and that. There are different thoughts we may have, different parts that are trying to communicate with us. We just need to be more understanding.
I saw your message.
So it's essential to recognize that instead of battling our thoughts, because we can learn from them and cultivate a deeper understanding of our mental landscape. So it is very important that we accept ourselves, whatever issue you have. It could be anxiety also, but it is important that we accept it. The moment you accept it, the moment you label your emotion, the moment you address, half your problem is resolved, because then you know where you should head, where you should head towards. So kindly be kind to yourself. Thank you so much for being here with me today, for sparing an hour. I know for a lot of you this is not convenient, but thank you so much for showing all this love, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Like, we had this very interesting conversation with Shweta. I mean, Shweta had the conversation. If there's any other topic that the audience would like us to take up, please tell us. Please put it in the chat, or you could even tell Shweta. I mean, she'll note it down, and we would definitely conduct those sessions also.
Definitely.
So please feel free to tell us.
I will add here that Wellness Whispers is a group created by a few psychotherapists in order to promote awareness of common issues, and they put out webinars like this. They conduct webinars in order to educate people about the many issues that are going around right now. So please feel free to contact any of us. It will help us to help people around. So thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you very much, Shweta, once again.
Thanks,
you.
Jyoti.
Thank you, Shweta. Good night.
Thanks.
Good night.
Hi, Shweta. Hi, Shweta. This is Kavita from UK.
Sorry. I
Hello.
think Kavita.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kavita. That appreciation means a lot. I hope it really helped.
Yeah, and one of our friends in UK gave me this Zoom link to watch in.
Okay.
And thank you so much. And In case, I'm just asking for a friend of mine whose son has got some issues with anxiety, and it can present in many ways, as you said. So, in case we need to contact you, do you have a number to contact, or if we need any counseling sessions to refer from here, how do we contact you? And
I'm just sharing my screen. You can note down the details. Just give me a moment.
Thank you.
Are you able to? Sorry.
Yeah, I got your number. It says online global, and
that is my contact number, and I work under the banner Innoverse Journeys. This is my private practice. You can visit my Instagram handle, or even drop an email, and we can take it forward from there. Any mode of contact is okay.
Okay. Yeah, excellent. I'm just trying to note down the number. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah, thank you so much, Shweta.
Thank you so much,
That's
Shweta.
very informative. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Take care, all of you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shweta.
Thank you,
It was
Shweta.
wonderful.
It was wonderful.
All my family talking. Thank you.
So the recording is still on?
Yeah, I'm just switching it off.
Previously, ma.
Oh, actually, I think Kiran ma'am only has to